Amanda.
Yes, sir.
Rolando.
Yes, sir.
Bustos.
Bustos.
Appreciate you guys being here today. We're going to get to you guys here in just a second. A couple of things that I want to mention to everyone. Our sponsor tonight is the Military History Center and Museum in Broken Arrow, Oklahoma. This is a great place. By the way, it's been investigated a couple of times too. It's the original hospital in Broken Arrow. And they get customers in there all the time that say, yeah, I was a little kid, broke my arm, and they set it in that room right there. Or, I was born in this place.
We've been invited to investigate there, actually.
Yeah. So if you get the chance to do it, they have a mannequin that likes to turn his head.
Cool.
Wow.
So I was a little skeptical.
Yeah.
But they do have a mannequin. He's in like the Vietnam era room.
Okay.
And I've moved his head myself,
Uh-huh.
and it's not easy to move.
Yeah.
I've looked at, is it gravity? Is it, is it a vent
Wind,
blowing on it?
like that, yeah.
What's doing it? And there's no explanation. And
Okay.
multiple people have seen not it move, but they've seen it go from one end to the other.
Was it mechanical at some point? At one point?
No, it's
anyway.
you plop the head down on the little, and then there it is. And they're expensive mannequins. But anyway, Military History Center Museum, they are at College in Maine, downtown Broken Arrow. Everybody, if you're not doing anything on a Monday through a Saturday, go check them out. They have a brand new Holocaust display that they're about to put out. And there's Native Americans in the military. There's all kinds of great stuff to see, from the American Revolutionary War all the way to modern day Afghanistan, war on terrorism. So plenty to look at, plenty to see, and then ask one of the docents if you can go see the mannequin, because they'll take you straight to it and they'll let you check it out.
That is cool.
And I also want to mention Robert Henry and Joe Evans. They are two artists who have sent over the Bad Candy comic. So everybody's getting ready for Halloween. This one came out a year ago, I believe, but these are fantastic books. You can check them out at badcandycomic.com. They're on Instagram as well, YouTube, but go check them out. Bad Candy, it's pretty cool. I wish I could draw like that.
Right?
Yeah.
I can't even draw a
That's
stick.
awesome. Same.
Right.
No artistic.
So we've got Amanda and Rolando here. They are with the Tulsa Oklahoma Paranormal Studies. You can check them out on Facebook. You can go to their website, tulsaparanormal.com. How did you get that domain? That sounds like something that should have been bought up like 20 years ago by someone.
You would think.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the other member in our group, Jeff, he's also one of the co-founders. We've been friends with him for a long time. Actually found him through a ghost hunting group that he had back in like 2006. And so we contacted him online and was like, hey, we're looking to join a group, and we joined his and investigated for a really long time. So about, I would say, half, if not more, of our evidence is from the old group. And then we all took a break for maybe 3 or 4 years and got back together, got the band back together, as it were, in like 2017, I want to say, something like that. And we just decided to rebrand, and Rolando actually came up with
I came up with the tops. Yeah, I came up with the logo and what it stands for and everything.
Yeah,
I take credit for that one, man.
Yeah.
You should. I mean, so when I first saw it, of course, my mind went to baseball cards, because Topps baseball. Of course, it's not spelled the same way, but I love the logo with the little spinning top on there and all that. I mean, it's great. So congratulations on what you guys have been able to do, and we're going to dive into some of your investigations and get to know you guys a little bit. So, Rolando, how did you get involved in being a paranormal investigator?
It's actually through Amanda.
Yeah.
Amanda, yeah.
She talked you into it,
She talked me into it. She's the one that had experiences, as a kid. I never really had any experiences. I mean, I'm more like the skeptic of the group. I mean, I've been doing that. Because every group's got to have a skeptic. You know what I'm saying? So I take that role. And kind of like what you do with a mannequin, it's exactly what I do. Like, okay, this head turns around. Okay, let's see how. Is there any possible way scientific possible way that this can cause this head to move?
Right.
So I go over there like exactly what you did. Go over there, make sure there's no windows, no drafts, see where the vents are. If it was mechanical at some point, you gotta learn all this stuff. But that's basically how I approach, different things, different sounds, stuff like that. But as far as how did I get into it, it's because Amanda. Amanda's the one that got me into it.
So, Rolando mentioned you
Yeah.
had some experiences as a child. What was that like? You want to share that?
Yeah, absolutely. So my first experience, I was 3 years old. My grandfather had just passed away, and I somehow ended up on the bathroom counter, and I was looking up in the corner, and my mom walks in, and she hears me talking, and she's like, "Who are you talking to?" I was like, "I'm talking to Grandpa." She's like, "Honey, Grandpa just went to heaven," trying to explain to a 3-year-old what happened. I'm like, "I know, but he's right there." And she's like, "How'd you get up on the counter?" I'm like, "Grandpa put me here." So.
Do you remember
No,
that action?
I don't remember any of this. My mom has told me this throughout the years, and even my dad too, like, who was pretty skeptical too.
Right.
And like my mom has no reason to lie about something like that. And then all the other experiences that I've had throughout my life, I'm like, there's no reason for me not to believe my mom on something like that. But that was apparently my first experience, and just all throughout my life, every house that I've lived in has had activity, whether it be for a short amount of time or a long amount of time. And yeah, I just too many to count. Yeah.
Do you feel like you're just more sensitive to it?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, a lot of people have that, right? Like they have that kind of
that
openness, I guess.
Yeah, one of the first instance, or the first actually things that happened to me, as far as like paranormal, or you can call it, is the Ouija board.
Oh no! Don't bring this up.
No,
Oh,
I gotta bring this up because this really freaked me out.
Yeah.
I didn't.
It's already freaked me out. You just said the word.
Well, I didn't believe in them, man. I never played with them, right?
Right.
But Amanda wanted to play with them one night. So okay, cool, let's do it, And I'm like, okay, I want to see if this is real. I mean, I heard about it that it's real, and you don't want to mess with it. So like, okay, cool. So we're playing with it, and we asked questions, and it was moving, right? And I'm like, she's moving it, that's what they always, she's moving, she's got to be. And I'm like, well, I have an idea. And she's like, what do you mean? Well, I mean, I'm fluent in Spanish. You're not. You basically only know how to say like hola and como estás. That's it.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm going to start asking questions in Spanish. Like actual solid questions. Intensive questions to see if it answers back in Spanish. Sure did, man. It answered everything.
Because there's no way.
There's no way. And
Yeah.
that's why I knew, like, man, this is just crazy, like, because I asked, like, hey, when you were born, where did you die, how did you die, how many kids you left behind, that kind of thing, and it answered everything in Spanish. And that right there, after that, I was done. I was like, man, and I haven't messed with them since that, and that was like what, 2003.
That was so we were really young. Like we've been together since the year 2000, and so it wasn't for like a couple years until I was like, so I see ghosts, not really like that, but
I
didn't really believe in it. My parents were taught not to. My parents were like, oh, you crazy,
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
my mom is hardcore Catholic, Mexican, like, she's not. She still tells me, hey, you better watch out with that, you can't be messing with that stuff,
Right.
kind of thing. Be careful.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And growing up Catholic too, like my mom is really hardcore religious too, but it was kind of opposite. My mom really believed in that stuff. And, she's had a few experiences here and there. So like, whenever I told her stuff, she was really open to it.
Yeah.
Believed me. She never like was like, you're crazy or, anything like that. She never got like mad at the investigations or anything like that, but she was like, yeah, I'm going to pray for you tonight, like that kind of thing.
Right.
But yeah, so he didn't believe it at first when I kind of started opening up about it, like, really trusting him and, that kind of thing. But he started seeing stuff, and not on like investigations or anything like that, but like understanding things that I would experience and be like, okay, that's real. Like that's weird,
Right.
And then, we had our first investigation with I say investigation. It was like friends going out to the cemetery, right?
Yeah.
Which I'll talk about that if you like. It was pretty interesting. It was the year 2004. And it was Halloween night, and us being younger kids, whatever, we were
Why
like,
not?
yeah, we were like, let's go to the cemetery. And so we had heard about it through one of our friends that was going with us, and I was like, okay, whatever, sure, yeah, spooky, whatever. So we get there, and when we get there, we pull in, and there was a fresh grave that was like off to the side.
Still see the dirt.
Yeah, still see the dirt, still
yeah.
see the mound,
Yeah.
you know, like wooden cross, not even like a headstone
Right.
yet.
Yeah.
Right.
And we were like, oh, that's creepy, you know, and like try not to like freak each other out or anything. Like we were genuinely interested in maybe seeing if we could find something, you know,
Sure, yeah.
at our EVP recorders and video cameras. So we get there and we're asking questions and we're kind of walking around the cemetery and stuff. And all of us, there's only one way in and out of this cemetery. We had 2 cars. So we're on the other side of the cemetery and we're asking questions and, you know, just doing whatever we're doing. And about 30 minutes later, we come back. And on the car were little kids' handprints. Now, it wasn't, and I have video of this.
Sure.
It wasn't like, you know, if your car's dusty and you put a handprint on there. It was the exact opposite. The cars were completely clean, and it looked like the kids had taken their hands in that fresh grave and then put it on. So the handprints were made of the dirt.
Correct. Yeah.
And they were all over the car.
And
Yeah,
no
there
one
were-
with you could have done that.
No, we were all
we didn't have
adults.
any kids.
I mean, they were like
and there was
little
no
kids.
kids around either because you're like, okay, it's Halloween. There was no kids around either. I mean, this is like midnight, past midnight.
Yeah, back way past trick or treating time.
Yeah, and that's another instance that's kind of like I'm thinking like, man, this is like the skeptic, like
Right.
what could have caused that? Like we were just at the store before we pulled in here, and there was no handprints, and all of a sudden now we got, and they start from the back, so they go all the way from the trunk and then all the way up, all the way down.
So it's
basically
over the car.
Over
the car.
Like they were crawling over
correct,
the car.
correct, and on the side too as well.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, okay, I'm the one that has, when I'm like, okay, that's really creepy, that's weird,
That's more
So
than creepy.
so I'm like, okay, so I'm thinking, okay, hold on. Well, the only one that has a brother that could have done this, because my brother Eric, he was young, he was like my brother. So I'm gonna tomorrow, I'm gonna see how big his hand is and see, that's the only thing I haven't come up with, because I mean, he wasn't with us, but I'm thinking, okay, this is kind of weird. But yeah, I put his hand next to the other, and his was way bigger.
Yeah.
It's small.
And he
it
was
a
like
small child.
6 or 7 at the time, wasn't he?
Yeah, I think it was like 8.
Yeah.
Around there.
So-
He was born 97, so that would have been 7.
Yeah. So the kids' handprints had to have been 4,
4 or 5.
5.
And there were no other families or
Nope,
anybody.
nope,
It
there's
was
no-
at night, right?
It was
Yeah,
at night.
there's not even any houses except for one across the street. And
Yeah.
so we even were like, I wonder if they're outside. Like we kind of like walked over there, not knocked on the door or anything. It was like midnight. But yeah, the lights were off. Nobody was around.
Have you been
Really
back?
interesting.
Yeah, actually we have been a couple times. Never had that happen again, but we got a few EVPs here and there. But
Right. Did you see the Tesla car driving through the cemetery? You know that the Tesla has the same kind of, the Wii can pick up your body movements, right? It has the same kind of camera, so it'll pick up pedestrians. And there's a guy he's filming the screen in his Tesla, and he's driving through the cemetery, and he's seeing these stick figures walk out everywhere.
what? No, I haven't
You
seen
need to
that.
look that up. Yeah,
That's
it's pretty.
interesting.
That's
It's
weird.
pretty wild because that's what that camera does is it picks up body movement just like with the Wii. So when you're playing tennis or
I
whatever
got
you're
you.
doing,
Yeah.
it'll see you move.
Yeah.
And it looks like well, you've seen them on the shows. You got it's just a stick figure,
Yeah.
but
It's like a presence.
there's like just somebody standing there as he's driving through.
That's
you know?
interesting.
But when you look, there's nothing
Nothing
there.
there. Yeah.
That's
So,
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting.
How do you think? So not to dwell on the Ouija board too much.
Yeah.
Because my brother won't even walk down a toy aisle if he
Oh,
knows
gosh.
there's board games
Yeah,
over there, and
yeah.
Ouija's one of them. How do you think something like that's meant for kids to play with? Like I could see like maybe the very first one they made was bad,
Mhm.
but how is it still doing that today after being manufactured 1,000,000 times?
I don't know.
That's a good question.
I don't know.
How does it keep carrying over and carrying over?
I think, personally, I feel like probably a lot of stories are over sensationalized. I can only base on what I've personally experienced, right?
Yeah.
But like, I don't know. Like, it's a board with a planchette. Like, there's nothing complex about it. It's really weird, you know?
Exactly.
So how is that working? I have no clue.
It's probably got the least amount of like pieces to it than any other board game
Yeah.
you're gonna buy off the
That's
shelf,
true.
right?
Yeah.
That's true.
And then it's simplistic. It's very, very
Ma-
simple,
yeah,
but
it's
there's
simple.
something to it. There's something about it
Yeah.
that
There's-
makes it what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I don't
That'd actually be an interesting interview. Talk to some, like, an Ouija board expert. I've actually seen some, like, shows. I don't remember what the show was, but they interviewed this person who has, like, a 10,000, or not 10,000, but like 2,000-year-old Ouija board, or 1,000-year, however old, 500-year-old Ouija board, and then he's got, like, you know, brand new ones, or ones that have been made, or like ones made out of solid gold and that kind of stuff. And like this guy was like this expert on it, and it was like, oh yeah, you know, it's contacts the spirit, but how? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Maybe because it's set up to interact.
That's what it's supposed to do.
That's
It's
what I'm saying.
performing like it's supposed to perform.
Because other games, other board games are not. They're
Okay,
not made to interact.
Let me ask you this though. We don't know how a Ouija board supposedly works, right? But back when cell phones first came out, most people didn't know how those worked either. Like, it's just, is it
Well, we
really
know that's
just...
the aliens, right? We know that's alien technology, right? Yeah.
Right, but is it really just as simple as it's a form of communication?
Right.
I don't know.
You never know.
But the reason why I think it's real and not necessarily even evil is because we both had experiences after that, and then after some of my own Ouija board sessions, which I won't do them again, but we both had spirits come into our house after that, and I know it was one that I contacted on the Ouija board because she was in my. Dang it, I keep going on. She was, yeah, sorry. The lady was in my house. Exactly as she told me she looked on the Ouija board session.
Right.
And,
so she knew what you were going to see, what you would look for if she was there.
Right, yeah. And I saw her, and my mom eventually saw her and was like, you need to go to the light, and then we never saw her again.
Wow.
So that was interesting.
Yeah, both of them saw her. Your mom used to talk about it all the time.
Yeah.
Saw her.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like a doorway or a portal.
It
That's
can be.
Opening
the
up
theory.
something.
That's
Yeah.
the theory. That's the theory. I mean, that you can bring in not so good spirits, you know.
Right.
But I won't mess with them again. I'm not doing it. Like, even if they pay me, I won't do it.
Yeah. Well, you know, there are stories of items being haunted. You know, Robert the doll is a famous one.
Yep.
You know, you got to ask permission to touch him and pick him up and move him and all those kinds of things. And when you don't, bad stuff happens. I mean, it could be something where that's just kind of carried over through the years. Who knows?
Yeah, like a curse maybe.
You know, I also think that when someone like yourself, who's really sensitive to those things, that might also be a catalyst to help it work.
I think so.
That's about the point. Speaking about that, we actually had an instance where we messed around with an antique and we actually got an EVP.
A direct reply.
Direct reply. Wow. Yeah. So it's
What
really
what kind of antique was it?
it was a doll.
Believe it or not,
It's
of
a
all
very
things, of course.
very like porcelain, those old school dolls, you know, and she used that as a trigger item to kind of get something in. When we got it, we actually got it on. We're recording, so we got it on camera and we got it on the recorder. So it was really cool.
And that was at a house that was like only like 3 years old. They had just built it, and they just started having tons of paranormal activity. So they called us in, and
Because the kids will not even sleep in the room.
yeah, which we don't. We always like make kids a priority, right? Like we always make sure the kids feel safe in their own house because that's very scary. Like whether it's malicious or not, that we don't want kids to be scared.
No, it's
you
the
know?
monster in the closet.
Yeah, right.
Under the
Yeah,
bed.
exactly.
Yeah.
So we did an investigation, and I asked the homeowner. I was like, because it was a lot of it was happening in the daughter's room, and she was probably like around 9, 10,
Yeah.
11, around there. And I was like, do you have anything in here that's an antique? And she's like, yeah, she said, I have some dolls up in the closet. I was like, you want to bring them out? She's like, yeah, dolls don't really creep me out. Like, it's never been a weird thing for me.
Yeah.
It's like, okay. So I get the dolls, I'm laying on the bed, and I'm playing with them, you know, like a kid would. I'm like, hey, I'm playing with your dolls. No big deal, right? So when we went back and reviewed the evidence, we got a direct reply of a woman saying, do not touch them.
Yeah.
Or do not touch it.
Do not touch it.
And we were like, oh my gosh. You know, like this is awesome. So, of course, for us, it's awesome, but not so much for the homeowner.
Right.
So we presented the evidence back to her, and we were like, because a lot of times we don't want to direct them to what it's saying. We want to see if they can understand
So
what
you
we
let them
mean.
listen.
Let
Yeah.
them listen, yeah.
See what their ears pick
Right.
up.
Exactly.
And then if they're hearing something that we're not hearing, we try to tell them like, well, this is what we think it's saying. And they're like, oh yeah, or you know, or maybe they are hearing something completely different that can give us a new perspective as well.
Right.
But so we presented it to her, and she was like, that's my aunt's voice. Those are her dolls.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah, and she's like, she's a mean lady too. So I'm not surprised
no.
she said
No,
that.
no,
So.
By the way, she's
very-
listening.
Yeah.
She was very stern, man.
Yeah.
She's like, do not touch it. Like it was stern. Like, hey, quit doing
So
it.
she was probably someone who collected those over the years and was very proud of it and
Exactly.
very attached to
Exactly.
it.
So there's also what we call that right there is more like a spirit haunting
Yeah,
than more than a ghost,
right.
because a ghost is basically just like a recording.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
just some sounds. It's basically a recording. But like where someone's actually directing or talking to you,
Yeah,
that's very intelligent.
right.
Yeah. I actually have that if you want to see it. Or
Yeah,
hear it.
yeah, well, yeah, you wanna play it now?
It's up to you.
Yeah, let's play it
Okay,
now. We'll give
alright.
it a shot, see what happens.
Okay.
I'm open to all that. One of the things that I've heard is sometimes you get like a residual that is a repeater.
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
So in other words, there's
Yeah.
something that is repeating what it's doing, or the noise, or
Correct.
or the movement, or whatever
Yeah,
it is.
yeah, yeah.
That's your typical ghost, right?
Correct.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a residual. Like
Right.
exactly what you said. Yeah.
Yeah. The one peeking in the door over there is my wife, Katina. She's like you, by the way.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
She's had these experiences. She's seen a lot of things. She's even had a near-death experience, which is crazy to talk about.
Wow.
Those, I believe in that too, by the way. I believe in
Yeah.
that. That's-
Well, I'm more like you, Rolando. I was a healthy skeptic, right?
Yes.
Now you've come probably further than I have,
Yeah, I mean,
because I've never really seen anything. Now the only thing that I've really experienced, other than my wife's near-death experience and talking to her about that, was when my father passed. He was kind of a larger-than-life guy, 21-year Marine, big guy, just the whole thing. And the night that he passed away, we were standing outside in the back porch, and I was just, I couldn't believe it. It's like Superman dying or something.
Yeah.
And I just happened to glance up in the sky, and I'd never seen anything like this before, but it was this massive, like, falling star that went vertically straight down in a huge, like you can't miss it. Like, as soon as you look up, you're going to see this. And I've seen falling stars before, and
Was it not like
they're just across the sky, and
something like that
it's
too.
kind of dim, but you
You
see
can
it
see
for a
it.
minute. This was like
Blinking.
a rocket coming out of the sky or
Wow.
something. And I saw that, and I thought, if he was gonna do something or like show
Hey,
in
here's your
some
message,
way,
yeah.
it would be something like that. It would be over the top.
Something obvious.
Yeah. So that's kind of the only thing that I've ever really experienced. But for a person like yourself who's experienced this stuff since childhood,
Yeah.
do you notice that it gets easier to deal with over the years, or do you just get bombarded with it sometimes?
No, definitely easier. Like when I really started investigating it, I got nervous and scared a lot. Because I was putting myself in those situations instead of those situations bringing it to me.
Right.
If that makes any sense.
Yeah.
And so I didn't know what to expect. I mean, I didn't know what to expect anyway. But it got to the point where there were some investigations that I was like, I just feel uncomfortable. I need to take like a little break, so I'd walk outside for a minute, come back in. And now I'm just like, man, like, I hate to say this, but a lot of them are boring. You're not doing anything for like 8 hours. It's mostly quiet. Like the stuff you see on TV is condensed down to like 30 minutes of a 10-hour investigation.
Right.
So most of the time it's just like, all right, another EVP session, which I love it. Like, don't get me wrong, I wouldn't trade any of this for the world. But and then when you actually start having activity in the investigations, it's like, this is what I live for.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely gotten easier over the years.
Let's talk about some of the places you guys have investigated. You mentioned Jeff Johns, one of your co-founders of TOPS. And if you're just tuning in, we are with Amanda and Rolando Bustos. They are some founding members, lead investigators for the Tulsa Oklahoma Paranormal Studies. You can find them at tulsaparanormal.com. You guys investigated the Constantine Theater. Where is the Constantine Theater, and what was that one like?
Pahuska.
That's in Pahuska. Yeah.
Okay, the old town Pahuska. Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. shout out to them. They were great. We kind of went out there on a whim, seeking them out, saying like, hey, we would love to investigate this place.
Right.
And the board of directors got together and they were like, yeah, come on out. So we had some interesting things happen there. We heard some voices, footsteps, little things here and there. It wasn't like super active compared to some of the other places that we've been, but just being there in general was amazing. The place is beautiful and
lots of history.
And being there where a lot of really amazing things have happened was in itself just worth it, But yeah, we got some cool stuff there. I don't think we got any like photos, but we did get some EVPs from there. And yeah, I'd go back for sure. I'd love to go back.
When you guys investigate, do you kind of roll in with all the equipment and everything you need? And is there a strategy when you show up to a location?
Yeah, there's definitely a strategy. Like we set up where we go in, we talk to the owner of the place and say, where's the activity, if there's any, where, and then we basically go in there. And we have cameras, like some DVR, like a DVR system, and we put the cameras where they think, angles and stuff like that. We always set that up first. Then we go and we take basic readings of the place, like temperature, all that stuff, EMF, all that stuff. So, and then we basically just we have either a EVP recorder or a camera, or sometimes a video recorder, and use a K2 meter, EMF reader, that kind of thing, but kind of dispense that, and then we just investigate, have somebody at base the whole time watching the cameras, make sure everything's good.
Yeah, because we have a DVR system.
We have a DVR system, and we have walkie-talkies that we talk, hey, did you see this, or that kind of thing.
Or did you just walk up the stairs?
Exactly, that kind of thing. So it is a system that we follow every time we investigate.
And if you don't mind me interrupting for just a second, Rolando had mentioned at the beginning of this that he kind of tries to debunk things.
Sure.
And that's kind of how, I don't want to say that's how we operate, because we were there to take claims seriously and see if there is, paranormal activity, for lack of better terms, going on. But if there's something that we feel like can be disproved, or we want to try to disprove it, the general public can do that too. And we don't want to put any evidence out there that we feel like is incorrect or false. Because if I put an EVP out there, sure, anybody can listen to that and be like, oh, somebody just whispered it, right? But if we're putting it out there, it has gone through 6, 7, 8, 4, 5, however many people are there investigating. We all listen to it. And we always try to do like a little bit before and after the clip to figure out who's there. And be like, was this any of you guys? Or, what was the situation? Was anybody in the building at the time at all? And we always go through them and make sure that it isn't any of us. One of the important things that we do is when we go into an investigation and we have teams, because we never do solo, we always announce this is Amanda and Rolando in the kitchen or whatever. That way that we know when we're listening back to this, that's the voices that we should hear. Anything outside of that could be something paranormal.
Right.
So we try to do the debunking to a degree. It's not like we're actively seeking out during the investigation, but if let's say we get a shadow figure on camera or something, we will usually contact the owners and be like, hey, we need to check this out and see if, was there a car or there's headlights going by and somebody was standing there or whatever. Because again, we don't want to put something out there and ruin our credibility. There's already way too much of that out there anyway.
Yeah.
So everything that you see on our website, we believe is 100% true.
100% true.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
We went through all the measures in place.
Yeah. And you have to protect that. You have to protect it, because if you don't, then your credibility's shot.
Yeah.
And no one's gonna need you for anything, because they won't believe in what you do. So when you guys enter a property or a location, can you tell like immediately that there's a weird energy here?
She can kind of sense like the energy. I don't know.
Yeah, I can't tell it. I'm like, where's the bed? I'm gonna take a
I'm the same way.
nap.
I can literally sleep on the ground out here, but
It really depends for myself. Like, for example, we investigated Gardner's bookstore, and I didn't feel anything. Like, it was calm. Everything just seemed like real cool. We ended up getting like 33
There was a lot of activity.
But some of those you don't hear, right?
You
have
yeah.
to play it back.
So that's a good question. So the difference between an EVP and something that you hear at the time EVP is what gets played back on a recorder, and what we call audible manifestation is what you hear with your own ears.
Yes.
So, which sometimes it'll pick up too, the recorder will pick up too. But if we actually hear this audible manifestation, EVP is something that is played back on the recorder.
Right.
So some of them we heard, in gardeners, we heard some of them audibly.
Yeah, I did. I heard that.
Which is actually kind of funny and inappropriate, but it's
it was
really
inappropriate,
funny.
man, but it was hilarious.
The rest of them were just straight EVPs.
Well, so, if you're not familiar with Gardeners, it's a used bookstore.
Mm-hmm.
So people are taking their used books, comics, DVDs, all kinds of things in there, and they're trading them in for credit, and they're going and buying
Correct.
more used
old
books,
stuff,
right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I could see how that could be a place that's,
Yeah, it was pretty active, man. I was actually surprised.
So, what was inappropriate about it? I mean,
I'm
you brought it up.
You
brought it up.
Okay?
Well, if you want to come in and sit down, go. You can't sit here, but you can sit over there. You're kind of creeping us out, standing there at the door.
You can
just like peeking in.
grab a chair. I mean, but
anyways,
anyways,
don't hit the camera. So what was inappropriate?
so I was at base, and they were investigating, and I was just, it was past midnight. There's, Garner's is a little shopping center. All everything's closed there around that time. There's no activity outside going on, anything. So I'm sitting there, and I hear this woman's sexual moan, and I heard it. I'm like,
I know that sound.
what's going on here? And I even asked, I said, hey, for some reason you ladies moaned?
Right.
They're like, no, we're investigating.
No, weirdo.
Yeah, so it was weird. It was weird because I heard it. Well, then when we presented it, we actually captured it on the EVP recorder as well. So I heard it and it captured it. So we showed the evidence to the owner, and he's like, okay, well, where are you set up at? Well, I was right here. Okay, well, what part of did you hear? It was like right here to my left. He's like, oh, that's funny. I'm like, what? That's the erotica section that came from.
Yeah.
That was literally came from right there. The erotica was.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it was interesting, man. It was really weird, man. But I was like, that's strange, man.
Right.
I've never experienced that before.
Yeah. Well, I mean.
Yeah, so he gets on the radio, he's like, I just heard a woman moan. I'm like,
And
what's going on?
What's next door?
Yeah, exactly right. Was there something going on? But there was nobody outside or anything.
Well, when you are investigating and you hear, when you hear something like that, obviously, the antenna goes off, and you're wanting to get someone else to help you verify, or
correct, yeah.
You're wanting to kind of clear the air as to is that someone else.
Mm-hmm.
When that happens, is it a rush, or are you a little freaked out? Because I would probably be freaked out.
That was not definitely freak at all. I was kind of intrigued, like, whoa, what's going on?
Yeah.
Like, now if somebody was like screaming or something, that's maybe different. But like that wasn't. I guess you can say there's depending on what it is, But it's funny that you said that. But the first EVP that I've captured, which was actually the freakiest. It was so freaky, man. I was really creeped out by it. It was at the Haynes house. And I remember walking in. It was cold. It was like November. I had a jacket on, a hoodie on, so I was, it was pretty warm. And I'm walking, and I got the recorder, and I'm walking to the kitchen, and all of a sudden I feel this like cold, like gust or like a chill, that goes right through me, and I feel it, and I'm like, you can hear me say on the recorder, I just got a cold chill.
Right.
And then Amanda says, well, duh, it's cold in here.
Yeah.
And then right after that, there's a little girl saying, let her be still.
Plain as day.
Plain as day.
Wow.
Like, she was right there next to me.
Right.
And what's crazy is that's what I felt. It was, man.
And this was Haynes' house.
That was Haynes' house.
Where's that?
That was in Harmony.
Are you okay?
Yeah, it's
Abandoned
since
home.
burned down about 10 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah, so that was one of our first real investigations after the cemetery. And in fact, the police department has let us come out there and investigate. And so that was the second EVP we ever got. The first time we ever went there, we got an EVP of a woman saying Howard, which turned out to be one of the son's names that used to live there. So that was pretty cool to verify that.
So do you guys do that? Do you do some homework prior to going about the location?
Yes.
And do you look things up after
Correct,
to see
correct.
what connections
A lot of
you
research,
make?
yeah.
Yeah.
We do research.
And that was hard because it was, 2006. So, the internet was around, but it wasn't like it is today,
Right,
where you can just go on and find anything.
Yeah.
So, like, if you look up Payne's house now, you probably won't find anything.
Right.
But back then, there's, we talked to locals and the police department and that kind of stuff. They told us, what they thought happened.
Yeah.
Of course, a lot of rumors,
Yeah.
Of course.
But when we got that, we were like, whoa, that's really cool.
Yeah.
So that was our first ever real
Most of the EVPs at the Haynes house were kids. Most of
Really?
them,
Yeah.
There's one that's really funny that we're in the bathroom, and it says, a little boy says, what did it say there?
It says, I gotta piss, please get out of the room. Yeah, it really does, yeah, it's really interesting.
So it's like, again, it's an intelligent.
That's an intelligent.
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because you're in the bathroom, you're like, hey man, I gotta use the restroom, get out of here,
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And then letter B stills.
The little beast is the one that's, to me,
Still my favorite.
because it's so clear. I mean, like, it still creeps me out, man.
Yeah.
Because I mean, that was to me, and like I said, I'm like a skeptic, so like, there was no kids around,
Right.
so
Right.
where did that come from?
Yeah. Where did it come from?
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Can't really disprove that.
You
when
can't
hear it
disprove
with your
that.
own ears,
Right.
and, well,
And
I
you-
mean,
well-
played back.
But I felt
Filter.
it.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm seeing. I mean, from my point of view, it's like, okay, I've never seen an apparition. I want to see one, because that'll be the ultimate, as far as being a skeptic, that'll be, can't really explain that, but like that is like the next best thing.
I think for me, it's going to have to be like on the original Ghostbusters, when they go to the library, like the lady putting books up. Like that's what it's going to have to be for me to really probably absorb it and to
Really,
go, oh my God, that's the because
that'd be hard.
That's probably not going to happen. But I don't discredit what people say that they've seen either. I mean, I'm not in your shoes. I don't know what you've come across. And so what is it like when you see something physical like that?
I've seen a few throughout my life. Oddly enough, the one that I saw the best was random. Wasn't even on investigation. We were about to go into a bar with some friends, and this apparition just crossed the street, clear as day. Clear as day. I was like, did y'all see that? And everybody else turned around. I'm like,
No,
Nope.
Yeah.
I was so mad that nobody else saw it. But I literally just watched it just like it was a person across the street, but it was like this black mass that just kind of walked.
Yeah.
I was like, whoa. And everyone was like, what? But the other apparitions that I've seen at places are almost out of the corner of your eye, but you can still see it. See-through, most of the time you can't see a head or a face. Pretty typical, like what people describe, honestly. Sometimes you'll just see something like going from one room to the next. And in fact, I saw something in my house the other day that kind of creeped me out, and then went from one room to the other, and I was like, okay, I thought something broke into the house.
Yeah.
So I grabbed my gun, and I'm like scoping out the house, and nothing's there. I was like, okay, well, I guess that was a ghost. So,
Why do some of them appear as more of a black shadow than like the one crossing the street than something that's more of a lighter color gray or whatever?
I think it all boils down to what kind of spirit it is, how they're able to manifest, how much energy they're using to manifest. We really don't know. Like, people get so mad whenever I say that. Like, I'm just going to say it. Everybody listening is probably going to get really mad, but this is just truth. There's nothing that can prove that ghosts exist. There isn't. Like, all the equipment that we use is actually designed for something else.
Yeah.
Right? So there's no instrument that's 100% like, this is how you find ghosts. Right?
Yeah.
So people get mad when I say that. But yes, we have these tools to use as ghost hunters, but
they're not made.
they're not proven to 100% work. People get mad, but it's true. Like, and there's nothing wrong with that, because we have made them to use for ghost hunting. But as far as like the way they different look, I think that's exactly how I don't know. Like, we don't know. We don't know because none of these tools tell us how that works.
Right.
You know. It's all based on theory.
Yeah.
I feel like that it is depending on how they're using the energy, what they looked like when they were alive. Maybe it depends on who they were as a person. Were they good? Were they bad? I don't know.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
have no
It's a little
clue.
different
But
variables. I mean, it could be.
yeah, we really don't know. Maybe
Well, we also can't see gravity or know how it works, but it's
it's
there.
there. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So that's just part of it. But you did investigate one location that I'm really curious about, and that's Kane's Ballroom.
Yeah.
Here in Tulsa, the famous Cane's.
Yes.
I've been there a couple of times, and there's some great stories that come out of that place. What was that one like?
Great. Real honor, for sure. This is back in 2012. They don't allow investigations anymore, unfortunately. But it's 2012, and we got permission to investigate, and we had some really interesting things happen with the K2 meter. We were asking questions and getting direct reply, yes and no replies with it. And like, as crazy as it sounds, and people probably aren't gonna believe us, but that's okay. We thought it was Bob Wills based on the replies we were getting.
Sure.
You know, we were like, "Are you Bob Wills?" It would light up and be like, "Okay, are you not Bob Wills?" And you know, like, yeah. So we're like, "Is your name Sally?" Nothing, or just random thing. Are you really Bob Wills? Like, you know, what's up? So like, we try to ask these things, try to trip it up, you know, to see if like, you know, I don't know. But yeah, we were asking just different questions, getting direct replies back. We caught a weird shadow on a picture. Heard some voices in there. The faucet turned on by itself up in the mezzanine or whatever, you know, the VIP area.
Yeah, upstairs.
Which Jeff were you up there?
Yeah, I was
Jeff?
upstairs.
Okay, so you and Jeff experienced that.
Yeah.
I was downstairs.
Faucet turned on by itself.
Wow.
And it's not one of those ones, you know, electronic ones or whatever.
Yeah, it's
Not
like
a
one.
motion.
No, you have to like actually
motion.
physically
Yeah,
turn
physically
it.
turn it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you ever experienced something moving, like a chair or something on a table or anything like that?
We did at the Haynes house. We caught the door getting shut on the recorder.
And that's something that seems to be fairly common with investigators that I speak to, is that doors are quite often shut.
Yeah, I think the only reason I can think that would be the case is because everybody during life knows to open and close a door. It's really common practice. Everybody knows how to do that.
Yeah.
2-year-olds know how to do that. You know,
Our dog knows how to do it.
right? Yeah.
Yeah,
So
and footsteps is also another
Mm.
at the Brown Mansion twice.
Yeah.
We've heard footsteps.
every time we've investigated Brown Mansion, we hear footsteps.
Yeah.
Every
Is that an
single
upstairs
time.
downstairs thing?
Yeah,
or is
it's
it-
All over.
It's all over. The best ones we captured were we're at the basement, and you got the first floor, and you can hear. I mean, like a woman walking with like
Yeah.
high heels,
But it's carpeted.
but it's carpeted now.
Yeah.
So it's phantom, like it's
Residual.
residual
noise, yeah.
Yeah, residuals to the owner saying that they were at some point there've been marble floors, there've been wood floors, you know, all that. But now they're carpeted, but the sound is still there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then in the ballroom too.
In the
We
ballroom
got
as
'em.
well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Where a lot of feet would be shuffling
Absolutely.
and walking and
Exactly.
stepping.
Yeah, all
Exactly.
residual. I mean, that place has been there for what, 100 years? Over 100 years.
Yeah, it's old.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and there's been a lot of people through that place.
I love that place. Like, if anybody even just has a chance to go visit it,
It's
it's not
really
even
cool.
paranormal.
It's a
Like,
really cool place.
Yeah. I've been to a couple of shows there, and it does have its own vibe.
It
When
does.
you
yeah.
walk in, you can tell, you can feel it, you know, as a venue, so to speak. Talk about Caney Cemetery. What was that?
oh gosh, that was so long ago. Caney Cemetery. That was, I don't know.
2012, I think I saw.
Yeah,
it.
a really long time ago.
Are most cemeteries kind of the same?
I think they are the same. I really personally don't like going to cemeteries.
2013 was when that
I've never been a fan of going to cemeteries, man. I just get.
I'm gonna be there one day.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just, you know, like, you know, if I was a dead person there, like, I wouldn't want people to be roaming around.
I know.
Right, yeah, get out of my
I
space.
actually,
Yeah.
if I remember correctly, this was actually done during the day. That's when we went during the day.
Oh,
with
that's
Christy.
right, that's right.
And,
Oh, wow, that's been a while.
yeah, it was 2013. I'm looking at the date because I have it on here. It was, so we just found the cemetery at the Blue. And we're like, let's go in and see what happens. And then, we have some EVPs and whatever, and it's like, okay, I guess we got something. Like,
yeah. So how come most investigations take place at night? Why couldn't you investigate during the day?
So, I mean, you could.
You could.
And we have. But you have to think about people, like you're going about your day-to-day life, right, in your house. Like, let's say you work from home and you're doing stuff and you're cooking and there's a ghost that walks by. You're not going to see that, right? So, like, at night, you're hyper-focused on what's around you. Because when the lights are out, all your other senses are completely immersed, It's because there's not a lot of people outside. There's
more distractions.
Yes, exactly. There's less interference at night.
Yeah, and obviously businesses also are open.
Right.
During the day, so that's
more
why.
noise outside.
Yeah.
We're not gonna go investigate Cane's while the concert's going on.
Right.
Exactly.
So,
or go to Gardner's whenever they're selling books. It's gonna be whenever it's closed.
Right.
So that's why we do it. But I mean, activity can happen at any time of the day. I mean, to be honest with you, there's activity that's gonna happen at any time. It doesn't have to be at night.
Well, and at night you get a better chance of scaring the shit out of yourself, right? So let's talk about that. What's been your scariest moment during your investigation?
That's a good one. I mean, to me, as far as scariest moment during the investigation, no, I haven't had any. I mean, to be honest with you, it doesn't really scare me at all. Like, as far as like a dark room or that kind of thing. Yeah, I don't get creeped out. But whenever I review the evidence, that's when I get creeped out. So that, like I said, that let her be still EVP just because of the whole everything that went on there. Like, I felt her and then obviously I heard her. That creeped me out.
Yeah.
So
do you think about it like 6 months down the road, a year down the road?
Oh yeah, man, I still think about it.
You're in the car by yourself.
Oh yeah, like I was literally close to I literally felt her.
Pass through you.
Pass through me.
The cold rush of air.
Yeah, because there was no windows open and the wind wasn't blowing.
Yeah.
So I mean, it was that. So yeah, during investigation, I have never been. I mean, that's one thing that whenever you investigate, you're not supposed to get freaked out. You're not supposed to run.
You're not supposed to run away from it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because, like, we're there to investigate. Like,
we want stuff to happen.
Run away from it.
Right.
Like,
but that's me. I don't know about what was.
Kiefer High School, in Kiefer, in Oklahoma.
Yeah.
We got to investigate there, and man. Okay, so I just want to start off by saying that I'm not here to convince anybody about my experiences. I know what I've experienced. A skeptic is always going to be a skeptic. I'm not going to change anybody's mind.
Sure.
That's fine with me. I don't care if people believe me or not.
Right.
Stuff we put out there, again, we believe is true. I don't care if somebody believes this or not. All right.
This is going to be good.
That being said.
That
being said. Okay. So
read the fine print.
So we had cops with us. These officers let us in. They went on the investigation with us.
Sure.
And so we're investigating, and we walk into this classroom. And I started getting coloration, like, all over me, which is, the feeling of, like, a cobweb on you or, like, a hair or something like that, right?
Yeah.
We call it coloration. I don't know why. That's just, we always call it. I started feeling it oops. Sorry.
She's really bad with not knowing with her.
Okay. So I started feeling it, like, all over me. Back of my neck, my face, my arms, my hands, everywhere. And I was like, I am getting major coloration right now. And everyone's like, really? I'm like, yeah, I don't know. And all of a sudden, I felt really lightheaded. And I was like, okay, I don't feel good. So I kind of slumped down into a desk, a kid's desk, or, whatever. And I'm just like super listless, like just like a...
Right.
And I kind of
drained.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I kind of blacked out a little bit. And in my mind, I saw an image. I saw, like, a scene play out in my head. Like, it was a memory. Like, I'm recalling a memory, right? And I'm sitting there, and all of a sudden, my head snaps up. And I'm like, I don't care. And everyone looks over at me, and they're like, huh? Because we're in the middle of an EVP session.
Right.
And I was like, I don't care. And they're like, what? And I'm just kind of, like, in a trance. And all of a sudden, I... like, snap out of it, and I gasp, and I just start bawling. I start crying, I'm shaking, and everyone's like, what's going on? What the hell happened, So what happened was, I was sitting there, and I got this image of a woman. She told me her name was Cassandra. And when I said, I don't care, it was because this man was across from me. He was wearing a white tank top, and he had a shotgun pointed at me, Cassandra, whatever.
Right.
And he was like, I'm just going to effing kill you. And I was like, I don't care. And then that's when I think the shotgun
Went off.
Yeah. Right? So I snap out. I'm freaking out. And I don't want to say I was possessed because I don't, it's not that. Like I wasn't, I don't know. Movies over sensationalize that. But I saw what happened, right? So I was like, what the hell was that? Like it really scared me.
Right.
And because I didn't know what was going on, was I imagining it? Was it some spirit that was showing me something that happened to her, which is what I believe happened. But it took so much energy out of me. I feel like she was drawing that energy out of me to show me what had happened to her. So, I'm telling them this, and they're like, holy shit. Like, what the heck? And so, I was so scared. I was like, I'm done. I'm done with this investigation. I probably still wouldn't go back there till that day because I didn't feel evil. It didn't feel evil. It didn't feel malicious. It was just really startling. Yeah. Very scary, honestly.
Sure, yeah.
And so I told them, I was like, I'm done. So I spent the rest of the investigation outside. I said, you guys please finish the investigation.
Yeah,
but everybody, every once in a while someone would come outside and be like, hey, you okay? Do you need anything? So, that was nice. But
you're not crawling up the walls or anything. Or,
right.
Yeah,
So
walking backwards on your hands.
On the stairs.
No. So that was definitely the scariest thing that ever happened, other than being scratched at the police department. That's really like physically that's the worst thing that's ever happened to me is being scratched on my arms, which I got my nails, so it wasn't me.
Right.
But that was scary. Didn't leave there though. But yeah, that I probably would never go back to Kiefer High School.
Yeah.
I say that, but if someone offered, I'd probably like, all right, let's see what happens
let's
now.
go, right. Round
I'll
two.
just keep my guard up.
Right.
But,
Everybody get the cameras going.
Right.
So I've heard that sometimes that draining feeling is associated with some type of an orb passing through you. Have you caught anything like that before on camera?
I don't really particularly believe in orbs because most of them are dust. But as far as like, I've never heard that before. That's really interesting.
Yeah.
Like something passing through.
I've had several people tell me that, especially if they enter the head, that you get that kind of that drained, kind of blackout feeling.
Yeah.
And then it takes a few minutes, and then you're kind of back to normal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly how it felt.
Yeah. Something to watch for.
Interesting.
That's cool.
Okay. I thought you meant like physical orb that we get on like camera.
We did get that orb that it kind of bounced through me.
That was at the police department though, not at.
No,
Kiefer.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. But that was actually a cool looking orb.
It was. That was interesting.
We don't normally. Yeah, I get a lot of those.
What has television done for this type of work? Good and bad.
Mm-hmm. They're both for sure.
Does one outweigh the other?
I mean, there's a lot of shows out there that are kind of just like over the top. Like it's just a bunch of, I don't know. To me, it's not even real. I mean, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
But there's some shows that are kind of like Ghost Hunters, like the original show. That was a cool show.
Yeah, I really respect them, Jason and Grant. Yeah.
Because they actually showed investigations where they didn't get anything.
Mm-hmm.
It was kind of like that.
Yeah.
With what we do as well, but there's other shows out there that are just like every time someone gets possessed or it's like, come on, man, like it's just kind of.
Yeah, well, there's somebody like
me.
There's like a producer standing over there going, "Hey, we need more.
Exactly.
Come on, guys.
Exactly.
We gotta, we need something. Let's go."
Okay. Somebody over there hit the, knock on something,
Sure,
right.
sure.
And that's one reason why I do respect Ghost Hunters, because it seemed authentic.
Yeah.
Whether it really is or not, it was made for TV. Like to us, even as Ghost Hunters specifically, it seems real.
Yeah.
Because, like he said, they have episodes out there where nothing happens. Mm-hmm. And that's exactly what happens on investigations.
Yeah.
We'll go to places that are supposed to have the most activity we've ever been told, and nothing happens. No EVPs, nothing. Yeah. And I like that they included that because it shows the reality of what an investigation can be like. And then they had some that were, they get shadows moving, I was like, holy cow, that's awesome.
And those look pretty authentic. Those shadows
Yeah,
they capture.
yeah.
Well, one thing it's definitely done is it's shed a lot of light on paranormal investigating and what the potential is to it, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
And it seems like, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it seems like there's been this development of different types of equipment and things that you can use
Right.
for investigating as
You got a
well.
point there,
Right.
yeah.
And
Sure.
along that, me saying that there isn't anything specifically designed for ghost hunting, I know that people have made their own equipment for ghost hunting, but there's that, like, and I love it, and I would love to get my hands on all this, right, because I love to use it, but we don't know if it's real, because it's not been put through scientific method, like,
Sure.
you know, papers haven't been published on it, that kind of thing. And I'm not discrediting it, because a lot of this stuff does work, and there are results from it, but I really wish that, like, the government or something would do some kind of funding where we could take these and actually study it somehow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
And
need to get a grant from a university
Yeah.
and just go after it.
right,
That would be
yeah.
cool. Yeah, I mean, well, I mean, we'll definitely study it. You know, we've gone to a lot of locations to, you know, capture stuff like that, but
Right.
shadows, voices, you know, everything.
Yeah.
At the, we got the light, the ball light at the Slick. That was
Yeah.
actually really cool.
Yeah.
So we capture that as well as far as on camera. But yeah, that would be cool to get funding. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
If anybody out there, anyone wants to, you know,
I'll
hook
go
us up, let's
investigate
go.
anywhere and
Right.
everywhere.
Yeah, just go to TulsaParanormal.com.
Yeah.
There you
Tell
go.
them you've got the grant check ready to go. And
Yeah.
just come on and pick it up.
We'll
So,
be the group for sure.
Yeah.
how long do you think you will be doing this? Is this like you learn how to play golf when you're a teenager and you play for the rest of your life? Are you going to continue to do this for as long as you can?
I'm down to do it for as long as I can. One of the biggest reasons I started doing this was to figure out what happens after life after death.
Yeah.
And you know, whether it be heaven, hell, or nothing, or we're all just ghosts and whatever. Like, you know, I love it. You know, we take breaks here and there, but I'm always down to investigate. So I don't see an end for
Right.
myself.
Right.
Yeah.
And this is stuff that people are not doing all over the world.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there are people all over the world doing
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so what's being captured, you know, can be studied and looked into, and
Yeah.
you guys are part of that.
Yeah.
It's got to feel pretty good, right?
Yeah.
And with so many people capturing so many things at like one specific location, for example, somebody has to be right.
Yeah.
This isn't all 100% made up, you know. In my eyes, like the screwdriver getting thrown at us at Brown Mansion, like that's got to be real. I mean, we experienced it, but if everybody went into Brown Mansion and had that happen, it's got to be real, you know.
Right. Something's going on.
Something's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's just too many coincidences for so many people all over the world to not believe in ghosts, in my opinion.
And we have cameras everywhere now.
Yeah.
There's a camera everywhere.
Yeah.
So, and we all carry them in our pockets. And I mean, you got to think eventually there's going to be more and more and more evidence show up. The more that people start looking into their footage.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we talked about TV. Let's talk about movies, because that's where the truth really gets stretched, right?
Yeah.
So just off topic a little bit. What's
Mm-hmm.
your favorite ghost paranormal movie?
Ooh.
I don't like scary movies.
You
It's
don't like
weird.
scary-
I
you're
know,
a ghost hunter and
I
you
know.
don't like
Because,
scary
okay,
movies?
I'll tell you why. Because it's over sensationalized.
Of course.
Okay.
Yes.
And the stuff that I experience isn't really scary, like for the
Yeah,
most part.
Right.
I don't like being scared.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
And
I'm the
so-
opposite. I love scary movies.
Yeah, so he'll watch these crazy ass movies, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I'll be in there watching a comedy.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
love.
so-
I love
Okay, so
them.
you and I can talk now.
Yeah.
Since this one doesn't watch.
No, she doesn't like scary movies. No,
Yeah.
which is weird.
I'm gonna say that Signs and The Ring are my favorite scary movies.
Okay. I like Signs. Signs is
Signs-
good.
But I love aliens. Like,
Science
Yeah.
is, and what's
love alien
aliens though?
stuff,
You're talking about paranormal activity, right? Like ghosts.
oh,
Well,
Ghosts?
we can talk both now. We
Oh,
got a
okay.
few minutes left here.
Yeah,
We
okay,
can
okay.
talk both.
I'm
but-
gonna say one of my favorite movies, as far as ghost paranormal ones, which doesn't really get a lot of credit, is The Others.
Yes.
That's a
That
great
movie's
movie.
an awesome movie with
Yeah.
Nicole Kidman. That's an awesome movie.
That's
The
a
way
good
it's set
movie, too.
up, the way it
Right.
kind of. I
I
think
do like
that to
that
me is really good. I like The Witch. Robert Eggers
Yes.
is another classic. I love that movie just because how creepy it is and the
Right.
music.
Yeah.
On that. And then the one you got over here, that's my favorite all time.
The
The
Shining.
Shining.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
my favorite director, like I told you. So
Yeah, I probably have sound bites. I probably have 30 sound bites.
I love
That's cool.
I love that movie.
Yeah,
So
when it was made, there hadn't really been anything that intense
Not
as far
intense.
as
Yeah, very
the
intense.
paranormal goes.
Yep.
And it was beautifully directed. Of
Very.
course,
Oh yeah.
and it's a great script. So the script is even creepier than the movie.
Correct. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it stands by itself, I think.
It does. It does. It's probably, to me, it's the best '80s movie. The best movie of the '80s, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Not even close.
And you can't go wrong with Jack. I mean,
Oh,
he
no.
was amazing.
Classic.
Just
What was in his
amazing.
hand?
Shelley
at the
Duvall is awesome.
In the photo?
Yeah, what's in his hand?
I don't know. I don't remember.
Is that little rolled up piece of paper, but nobody knows what it says or what it means.
Oh yeah.
At the end of the
At
movie.
the end of the movie,
Great
when
mystery.
the
What's he
shot,
holding?
at the
Right.
shot,
Yeah.
the hotel, yeah.
Yeah.
He's been in the whole time.
It's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great movie. So Aliens, we can talk that.
Mhm.
Signs was great.
Love Signs.
I love it when what's his name? Joaquin Phoenix.
Mhm.
He's in the closet and he sees the alien on the TV and
Yeah.
he jumps back because it freaks him out. That's a
Yeah.
great scene.
Or when Mel Gibson's in the cornfield and he sees a foot turn around.
Yeah.
That was creepy.
But it's very
I loved
intense.
it.
The music.
I
yeah.
love it.
Yeah,
Anything
again, the
aliens,
music.
I'll watch it. Arrival, amazing movie.
Arrival.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good one.
Where they
Arrival's-
where they write in circles,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I
They're
like-
in the little.
Fantastic.
They got to go into the
Yeah.
whatever that thing was. The ship.
The ship, yeah. Love
Yeah.
that. And then Life
Yes.
with Ryan Reynolds.
Yes.
No, don't forget about the original Cloverfield.
I love Cloverfield.
Cloverfield,
Cloverfield's
yeah.
fantastic.
Cloverfield is
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
It doesn't get it, like another movie doesn't get a whole lot of credit, man.
Right.
Like, these movies are
Yeah,
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm older than you guys. So when I was a kid, the original Aliens
Mhm.
was like the first movie that I watched that really freaked me out.
Sigourney Weaver.
That's a good movie.
It's a good one. And then of course Close Encounters.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Oh
that,
yeah,
yep.
that's a movie.
That's a classic.
That's another one that in fact, it's sitting right there.
The Fourth Kind
The
scared
Fourth
sh-
Kind's a good one.
out of
Yeah.
me.
Yeah. the
I had
Owls.
nightmares for a week. I cannot look at owls the same way ever again. That movie really did scare me. I was like, I'm sleeping with my light on. I was like 20 something when it came out. I'm like, my nightlight's on. I've got a nightlight now.
Right. I don't blame you.
But yeah, for like a week, I was like, aliens are gonna abduct me, you know?
I actually work with a guy who claims he was abducted. Story
Ooh.
for another day.
I would love to talk
He
to
was a
him.
little kid, and they had this moment where him and
Mhm.
two of his friends, there's like this gap in time.
Oh, okay.
It's kind of a weird story, but yeah, it's definitely one that
Do you mind
I'll share.
getting me in touch with him? I'm
Sure.
dead serious.
Yeah,
'Cause that's
yeah.
I like that kind of stuff.
The-
You know?
Yeah.
Like I'm
Yeah, we went to, speaking about UFOs and everything, we went to the 50th anniversary?
75th.
75th at Roswell.
Oh
we were,
yeah,
we were there.
I thought
in
you were going
summer.
to say you were there to storm the gates.
Oh
No.
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 No?
We
That
went
would
to
be
the
great.
Dang it! I'm trying to find somebody who wanted to storm the gates.
storm.
He
Oh,
wanted
I
to go
wanted
storm the
to.
gates.
I wanted to.
Producer
But-
Aaron wanted to storm the gates.
You
He
wanted
was
to
all
storm
I
the
about
did
it.
gates?
He was all about
Where
it.
the aliens at?
What about
What
Bob
is-
Lazar? You believe his story?
Oh, that's cool.
I
man.
do actually.
I do, too.
I think it's fascinating. I watched that probably like 10 times in a row,
Yeah.
scrutinizing it. Like, I think Corbell is a little out there, but I like that he's brought this to light.
Yeah.
If it's not real, they have done a damn good job.
Well, there's more and more, and again, I get off topic really easy.
I love it.
There's more and more evidence coming out of the Department of Defense.
Yeah, I
They're
see that.
releasing videos. There's
Yeah.
more fighter pilots coming forward
Mhm.
saying, "Here's what happened.
Yeah.
Whether you believe it or not,
Man,
this is what happened."
that's real,
The
man. I'm
Tic Tac
telling you.
video,
Yeah.
all of that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And even the one that came out not too long ago, that basically flew exactly the way Bob Lazar explained it, and that's the kind of turning,
Uh-huh.
the disc shaped, and then kind of turning up like this and flying.
Yep.
Maybe it's government stuff, maybe it's not. I don't know, but there's a lot of weird stuff going on.
The fact that this is not talked about more now that the government is like, yeah, they're not aliens, but like UFOs are out there, and like people are just like, what?
Yeah.
Like this is huge, but I don't know.
This is probably the one topic that I go a little further than most people, because I look at a person and I go, that person's not human. There's no way.
Really?
Like
Really? That's cool.
That person can't be human.
Look
at them.
Like a reptilian thing.
Well,
or
I don't know what they are,
Yeah.
but they can't be human. I mean, nobody, and I'm not saying because they're ugly or because they're whatever. I'm just saying, like they're like, looking at their cup like, oh, what is this drink device here? What is this that you use for drinking? And I'm like, why are they doing what they're doing over there? They gotta be aliens, right? They gotta.
No.
I mean, but it would make sense that they would be here. I would think amongst us. Why not?
Sylvia Brown said they are.
Yeah, I think there's a possibility.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely there's a possibility.
Anything's possible.
I mean,
it could be like that. It could be like what's her name in that movie?
That's real specific.
Hold on. It was like a Brit or like a European movie, and she's like an alien. She's like a succubus.
Jessica's body.
No. Get your phone out and find it.
No, we
can't leave and end the show until we know the name.
A British movie. Or
Under the Skin.
Oh, Scarlett Johansson.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's
a
great movie,
That's
man. You gotta
weird.
check that one out. Yeah. But she's among the living, but she's an alien.
Right.
Yeah.
And she does kind of do stuff like that.
Yeah.
She's analyzing.
And she's beautiful. So what guy wouldn't,
report back to the mothership with what she's found.
Yeah.
Right. Well, look, guys, it's been great. If people wanted to get a hold of you, because there are a couple of things I noticed on your website, we'll touch on this. You can request an investigation. So what's that process like?
TulsaParanormal.com. If you click on request and you feel like your house or business or whatever might have activity going on.
My wife.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah. You can put in a request and we'll look it over and get back to them and ask questions and see if
But you got to vet some of these, right?
Some of them, yeah. We do get we get trolls every now and then.
Sure.
That's why we call.
It comes with the territory.
Yeah, we're used to it. It's fine. And we also have where you can apply to be an investigator, which we are looking for more investigators.
Team members.
So, team members.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Come help
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
Well, I would be worthless in that capacity, I'll just tell you. Because I would probably either be laughing too much or running scared too much. It'd be one or the other.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't be any good at it.
Mm-hmm.
But I could definitely direct your TV show when that happens. So whenever you guys are ready.
I'm interested.
To be a real.
I might actually talk to you something about after the show.
Yes,
with that.
absolutely.
Yeah, cool.
Let's chat. One thing that I did love about the website, and I have to admit that I'm probably going to steal it, and that is your glossary of terms.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I love that you guys have a spot on there, which I've never seen before, on anyone's website, where you can go on and you can click on the glossary tab and you can look and read some definitions of some of these terms that sometimes we hear, but we may not know what they mean.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
That's something that we've done since we first started,
Yeah.
way back in the day, because I was like, especially back then, with it not even being on TV yet, shows, I was like, we need people to understand what we're referring to when we talk about it on the website. And so we put that together years and years ago, and it's developed over the years, we've revised and everything, but thank you for that.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Very helpful.
Yeah.
Very helpful. So everyone, I encourage you to go check it out, TulsaParanormal.com. You guys are on social media too? What are those handles?
Let's see, Instagram is Tulsa Paranormal, and Facebook, Tulsa Oklahoma Paranormal Studies.
Go follow them, go like their pages, go check out what they're doing. And if you've got something going on, what's your travel range? What are you willing to travel to?
Oklahoma, Kansas, Missouri, Texas, Arkansas. I'll go to Colorado any day of the year. I don't care. If we can get there by car, we'll go.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So,
Awesome.
yeah.
We appreciate you guys coming in.
Thank you.
Rolando, Amanda, thank you for being part of the show. Let's have you back one day. And
Absolutely.
Let's do it.
Let's talk some more stuff.
Thank you very much.
Shout out to, for sure, shout out to the Military History Center in Broken Arrow, Oklahoma. Go check them out. College in Maine in Broken Arrow. Fantastic place. Tell the docents you want to see the mannequin that turns his head. They will definitely take you to it, and they will show it to you and get your picture with it and all that good stuff.
Awesome.
It's kind of their famous part. And also they have a basement, which is the old morgue, by the way. It's very interesting.
That would be really good investigation.
Very, very interesting.
We need to investigate that.
Yeah.
But you guys go check that out. You can also find them on Facebook as well, Military History Center. And again, shout out to our guys over at the Bad Candy Comic. Go check them out as well, Robert Henry and Joe Evans. This is the first edition right here. Halloween's coming up. Great gift for your loved one, anyone that's into that kind of stuff. So for Rolando and for Amanda, this is Brad Heath, Oklahoma Ghost Stories. We appreciate everybody checking us out. Be sure and like the Facebook page and go to the YouTube channel and like that and follow us as well. So for the producer, Aaron, we're going to say good night.
Thank you.
Thank you.